So this video isn't going to be a complete review of the new HP9 V2 plane. A partial review. Mostly it's going to be the differences between the two planes. Here's the original version. Now, you know I have to be crazy when I buy another plane that's basically the same as this one. I love this one when I got it a few years ago. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about the differences and the justification for buying another one. Some of the differences are talked about in the marketing. For one thing, the new version is slightly bigger, based on it being metric versus imperial. Aesthetically, they're almost the same, except the new version, the sides are a champagne color. The older version was all of the aluminum kind of color. The biggest difference is the old version, which I got used to, but it took me a few weeks. The adjustment was done with an Allen wrench. So, you know, you opened it up when you went back to close and lock the blade like that. If you wanted to adjust how tight it was locked, you did it with the Allen wrench. The new version, fantastic. Opens up, close it, you adjust it with this screw mechanism. And in the instructions, it's very, very easy. They recommend opening up the plane, completely unlocking it, then shut it. There's no tension at that point. So now I tighten until I feel a little resistance, and then I give it another quarter turn. In my experience, I go a little bit more than a quarter turn. So I give it a little bit more. And now it's got plenty. So that's how you adjust it. The same thing was true of the backlash mechanism. I don't know if I can get a shot of it, but the backlash mechanism here adjusted with an Allen wrench. It was kind of annoying, but you could do it. On the new version, there are two orange discs that rotate, and then you can adjust with thumb pressure. So very, very easy. Those are sort of the major advertised differences, but there's a couple of other differences. I noticed in my original that the mouth adjustment mechanism always was a little tight. You know, I had to kind of jerk it a little bit to loosen it up or tighten it, especially if a couple weeks had gone by and I hadn't used it. It was always a little annoying. Not something that would kill the plane, but just annoying. The new version loosens and tightens perfectly. I don't know if there's a design difference or it happened to be my plane. I'm not sure, but this has always been stiff. I lubricated, it's still a little stiff. This one loosens and tightens perfectly. The other one that's really a big issue is on the old version, when you opened up the plane, in theory, and then you open up the mouth, you were supposed to be able to turn it over and the blade fell out. Well, sometimes it did. Most of the time it did not. It was very tight in there and it was annoying, and you'd have to kind of push on it to get it to come out. On the new version, the design is different. The holes are set up differently, they're wider. And so it comes right out. Comes out so that you can hone it, or you want to flip it over to the other blade. It's just much, it's much easier. that's a big one because I just found it annoying in the old version to pop out the blade. And so you psychologically decide not to remove the blade nearly as often. In this one, it's just very easy. Remove the blade, switch it around to the other angle, or take it out and give it a quick hone, put it back in, no problem. And again, close the mouth and you're set. The new version comes with a couple of really cool features. First of all, it's got a nice plain sock with the Bridge City logo. That's really nice. But it also comes with a fence system. The fence, here it is extremely easy to install. You can obviously install it on either side. You take these pieces, screw them in, put the fence in. You now tighten it wherever you wanted to put it. This way with these, and the fence is on. And that's really, I haven't experimented too much with the fence, but I think it's going to be very handy for me. I'll loosen it up, remove the fence. Boom, easy. One other little interesting factoid I found out is that the fence will fit the old version of the HP9. Voila. So that was a nice little interesting discovery. The depth skids will not fit because these screws are not an exact fit into these screws. I suppose you could find alternative screws to make it work, but the fence itself does fit the old version. The one thing that's not quite as easy is the depth skids. Now, on the old version, it didn't come with depth skids. It was an added feature that you had to purchase. The original owner of this particular plane did not purchase it, so I never had a set. So I've been looking forward to getting the depth skids, and I think they too are very useful. I have them on the HP8 plane. I find them very useful. The tool comes with an extra box, which has all the hardware that you need. And on each depth skid, there is I guess you call that a spacer. Then there's a little washer and screw. And I'm fumbling with it. This is an Allen, comes with the Allen wrench, but again, the other screw. I'm just doing this really quick and dirty. So I have that installed. I'll do the same thing to the other side. And you know, it takes a couple of minutes and you're good. Here is my only complaint about the plane. They have given you an entire set of the hardware, giving you a nice little box to keep the hardware in, but there's nothing extra, and these are small, and I can really imagine losing one of these pieces. And if you do, I guess you're screwed. You have to contact Bridge City. It would have been nice if they had included, you know, and maybe an extra piece. So I'll have to be very careful, knowing me, when I go to install this. So that's as big a complaint I have as on the plane. Both the depth skids and the fence work fantastically well. The plane works extremely well. I certainly see no difference in quality. If anything, there's a positive difference in the quality over the earlier version. As I mentioned, a couple of the little things that I think this is superior. So that's a quickie version of the differences between the new HP9 version 2 and the original HP9. They're both great planes. They both are my favorite block planes that I've ever used. But I think the HP9 version 2 is absolutely worth it if you never had the HP9. But even if you have the HP9, it's possible that you might want to get the upgrade.